You've been in an argument lately. You dropped a word, gaslighting, or trauma, maybe toxic, and you felt smart saying it, powerful even. But then the other person stared at you, and you both knew. You had no idea what you just said. You used a label, not an explanation. And here's the kicker. You're not getting smarter when you use these words. You're getting dumber, because every time you reach for a buzzword, your brain skips the hard work of actually understanding what's happening. There's a reason this keeps happening to you. And it's not because you're lazy, it's because popularity kills meaning, like a virus. And I'm going to show you the exact mechanism and how to reverse it in the next 10 minutes. The enemy isn't you, it's the popularity paradox. When a rigorous scientific concept goes mainstream, it doesn't make the culture smarter. The culture kills the concept. Example, the word discourse started as a precise linguistic distinction, speech tied to a speaker versus detached narrative. Now, it's a synonym for conversation, dead on arrival. Here's why this destroys your thinking. A concept only has power in its native environment, scientific rigor, controlled context. The moment you drag it into casual conversation, Aunt Linda's kitchen table, it loses all precision. This is called a third-order phenomenon. It doesn't exist in physical reality. It doesn't exist in your perception. It exists between them, like a ghost. Touch it without the carrier, it disappears. Let me give you a picture of this. Imagine a high-fashion hat. Looks stunning on a runway model. Now put that exact same hat on Aunt Linda while she's stocking produce at Walmart. Does it make Aunt Linda look like a model? No. It makes the hat look ridiculous. Day and night, they met and killed each other. That's your brain on buzzwords. Most people think using smart words makes them smart. You're about to learn the opposite is true, and I'm going to give you a system to fix this. 5 steps. Starting now. Step 1. The 10-second definition test. You think knowing a word means you can use it. Wrong. If you can't define it in 10 seconds, scientifically, precisely, you don't know it. You're wearing Aunt Linda's hat. Here's what you do. Right now. Open your phone. Review your last 3 text arguments or important conversations. List every heavy word you used. Depression, energy, structure, narcissist, logic. Set a timer, 10 seconds. Write a precise scientific definition for each word. Not a feeling, not, you know what I mean? A mechanism? Can you do it? Most people can't. And here's why that matters. Your brain defaults to pattern matching. It hears a word repeatedly, assumes it knows the meaning, but without a concrete definition, you're storing a map without the territory. This creates what's called semantic satiation. The word loses all meaning through overuse. You're literally training your brain to think in dead language. Can't define trauma in 10 seconds? You're about to find out why that's dangerous. Skip this, and every conversation you have will be built on quicksand. Keep watching. Step 2. The word ban protocol. You think using precise language makes you sound smarter. Actually, it makes you think smarter, but only if you delete the fake precision first. Here's the protocol. For the next 7 days, you are not allowed to use any word you couldn't define in step 1. Banned words list. Write it down. Put it in your phone notes. Title it Dead Language. Every time you're about to use one of those words, stop. Force yourself to describe the actual behavior instead. Here's what this looks like. Instead of, he's gaslighting me, you say, he keeps denying things I remember clearly and it makes me question my own memory. Instead of, she's toxic, you say, every time I'm around her for more than an hour, I feel drained and anxious. Instead of, I have trauma from that, you say, When I think about that event, my body tenses up and I avoid similar situations. See the difference? This forces your brain to engage the prefrontal cortex, the part that thinks critically. Instead of pattern matching, lazy brain, you're describing reality. The more you describe instead of label, the more you strengthen neural pathways for precision thinking. You're literally rewiring your brain away from intellectual posturing. And yes, this is going to feel uncomfortable. Good. That discomfort is your brain doing real work for the first time in years. Ignore this step, and you'll keep sounding smart while thinking in circles. The next step makes this automatic. Step 3, the context dependency audit. You think a word means the same thing everywhere. It doesn't, ever. Kandinsky figured this out with color theory. Yellow on green is not the same as yellow on red. The background changes the concept. Before you use any technical term, ask yourself, am I in the native environment for this word? Here's what I mean. Scientific paper? You can use discourse analysis. Therapy session with a licensed professional? You can use attachment trauma. Casual conversation? Both terms become meaningless decoration. Use the two-environment rule. If the word can't survive translation between two different contexts with the same meaning, don't use it in either. Why does this matter? Your brain stores concepts with contextual tags. When you use a scientific term in a casual setting, you're forcing your brain to create conflicting neural representations of the same word. This is cognitive dissonance at the neural level. It literally makes you less intelligent over time. You're training yourself to confuse the map, the label, with the territory, the actual phenomenon. And this is why people who read a lot of psychology books often become worse at understanding people. The next step fixes that. Step 4, the territory description protocol. You think studying concepts makes you understand reality. Backwards. You need to study reality first, then find the concept that fits. When you're analyzing a situation, relationship, behavior, pattern, do this in order. First, describe what you observe. Actions, words, patterns. 3 to 5 specific examples. Second, describe how it affects you. Physical sensations, emotional patterns. Third, only then, if needed, attach a label. Here's an example. Wrong way. My boss is a narcissist. Right way. My boss takes credit for my work in meetings 3 times last month. He interrupts me when I'm speaking, daily. He gets visibly angry when I suggest alternatives to his ideas. This makes me feel anxious before meetings and resentful afterward. This pattern matches clinical narcissistic behavior, but what matters is the pattern, not the label. See how much more you actually understand now? When you label first, you activate confirmation bias. Your brain stops looking for new information and only sees evidence for the label. When you describe first, you engage observational processing, the part of your brain that actually learns. fMRI studies show that labeling emotions decreases activity in the amygdala, emotional processing, but also decreases activity in the insula, self-awareness. You feel less, but you also understand less. Average people label everything and understand nothing. You're doing the opposite now. One more step. This is the one that makes it permanent. Step 5. The precision recovery system. You think the goal is to never use technical language. Wrong. The goal is to earn the right to use it. Once you've banned a word for 7 days and you've been describing territory instead, you can reclaim it, but only if you can pass this test. 1. Write the scientific definition from memory. 2 to 3 sentences. 2. Give 3 specific real-world examples where it applies. 3. Give 3 specific examples where it does not apply, but people misuse it. 4. Explain why the distinction matters. Store this in a precision vault, a note on your phone titled "Words I Actually Understand." Only use words from this vault. Why does this work? This creates what's called desirable difficulty in learning theory. Making something harder to access makes it stick deeper. Every word in your precision vault has earned neural real estate. It's connected to real observations, real experiences. This is the opposite of semantic satiation. You're building semantic depth, multiple neural pathways to the same concept, all grounded in reality. Do this for 30 days, and you'll think more clearly than 95% of people. Skip it, and you'll keep sounding smart while staying confused. Here's what just happened. You went from someone who uses smart words to someone who thinks in precise terms. That's not a skill. That's a different operating system for your brain. Most people are walking around with a vocabulary they don't understand, a Tower of Babel in their own heads. You just burned that tower down. Now, you speak a language that actually maps to reality. You're part of the minority now, the people who say less but mean more. The world rewards people who sound smart, but it belongs to people who think clearly. You just chose which one you are. Popularity kills precision. Precision creates power. You just got your power back. Now go audit your language.